All right, hello, my name is Mike Rivers Jr. This is my Life and Ed Administrator video recording for LED 583. So first thing we're going to go into is who the individual I decided to shadow was. The individual I was shadowing was Heather Murphy, as you can see on the right side of the page. Her position title is National Sales Manager and Director of Operations for Bernhardt Textiles, and she's been working there for 20 years. Formerly Operations Manager, and her duties include she is responsible for customer service, operations, profitability, purchasing, and inventory control. And the rationale for why I wanted to work with her is I have a very good working relationship with her, as her daughter is on my swim team, as well as I know a lot about Bernhardt and the reputation. So here's a little video of Heather speaking to the strengths and great parts of working as a Bernhardt administrator, and I'll look into that after.
Have both our culture within the organization, and as a result, each person is responsible for different departments within the corporation work together for a common goal. Customer service is very important. Client interaction, one within the organization, whether it's client outside or an internal client. For instance, someone that's working in the credit department or the IT department or the transportation department, they have internal customers. Those internal customers are people like myself that actually facilitate relationships outside customers. So as a team, we work together and interact together to get the common goal and fulfill our ultimate client.
So yeah, as she was speaking to there, what she's doing is a lot of dealing with the ins and outs of the company, looking towards outside of the company, within the company, and how growth within a company can actually reach further and further destinations. So that's what her goal and what she's been doing a lot of is customer service and reaching out to these bigger corporations and other corporations overseas, trying to spread the name of Bernhardt. So to do so, she's been looking into a lot of like promoting it. And we're going to look at a lot of that stuff in the next couple of slides. So a couple of observations that I had and that she had spoke to me about when I was shadowing her was some of the things that, you know, they've grown from, some of the things they've learned from, and some of the things that they're working on right now. So some of the things they've grown from, and one of the observations I thought was really interesting was the fact that, you know, if you can look down here at the left corner, that was one of their first original factory buildings. And I actually got to go look around the place. It was very interesting. And the fact of the matter was that, you know, humble roots have led to a huge presence for them right now, and it's almost amazing to them as well. And they still have this kind of newfound joy of, you know, wow, we're a company that's really made it, and something that's very difficult in today's day and age. Now, something that they've grown from, if you look in the top right-hand corner, is the fire at the factory. And to them, this was a detrimental state. And as administrator, she had to step up and tell everyone, okay, well, you know, it's going to be all right. We're going to get our things together. We're going to get back up on our feet. And I think that that was something that spoke to a lot as an administrator duties and what it's not written in their contract, but it's stuff that they do have to look out towards. And then finally, some of the things that she was talking about working on right now that she's had a huge part in is the outlet. The way to, you know, make some of their products that are always seen as high end and make them a little bit more affordable for the community. So when we're looking at the next page, we're looking towards a lot of community resources and a lot of community aspects that are very interesting that, you know, they're trying to make their global presence known, their national presence known, but they're also still trying to stay very humble to their roots, which is why this bottom left picture as I was talking about is that, yeah, there was humble roots, but now there's a great empire. And something that as an administrator, she's talked about that, you know, customer service and local customer service is still very important to her. So looking at the 3 levels of shine and some of the things that he spoke to and some of the things that you have to really look at to see the culture, but as well the culture, not only the culture of the organization, but the culture of an administrator is, so first off, the artifacts. So there was this email that each employee receives on the 130th year anniversary of Bernhardt, speaking to the fact of, like, you know, this has all been possible because of you. So there's going back to that roots of, you know, our companies and our workers. The truck, if you can look in the top right corner, is a holiday on Christmas where the truck actually went through the holiday parade, just trying to, you know, keep local awareness, and something that's spoken to a lot. When you look at this last one too, it's a booklet they put out every year congratulating people on retirement, congratulating people on years of service and stuff along that line. So speaking of all that, are these artifacts that show that they're very deeply rooted in certain things. Spouse beliefs and values. Some of the things I think Heather spoke to a lot of is their belief that, their company starts within themselves, and supporting each other supports a better company, supports a better growth. And that's something that I think a lot of places are losing touch of, and that they can reach out further by reaching towards each other. And underlying basic assumption, I'll throw out one that's really strong, one that's really weak in there. That their weakest one is that they have a longevity that has been so successful that it's almost taken for granted, that there is a level of, well, we're always going to be around, at least on the lower half. For the administrators, they still understand the applicability of the differences that could arise. Now, one of the great ones, though, is that they've always believed in their people. And that's what I've spoken to a lot of. And I think as an administrator, she focused a lot of it that, she knows everyone who works under her, everyone who works over her, and there's a level of connection there. And I think that that's something that, is an assumption that people might lose, in that these things are very important. So, in conclusion, I think life for an administrator at Bernhardt Textiles, at least for what Heather's doing, is that it comes down to tradition, togetherness, appreciation, and longevity. And all these have their good and their bad. So tradition is, they've come from certain roots and they're going to stick to them, and they've been very successful so far. Togetherness, as Heather had said, by them working together, they're going to find a common goal, and that's something that's going to be very successful for them. Appreciation of their workers, from the higher up to lower down. So Heather speaks to all of the people who are underneath her on a daily basis and asks them personal questions about how they're doing. And, that little bit of looking into someone's life can be very valuable in the long run. And then longevity, as I was saying, the long run is always a goal for a company, is just how long they can go. So I hope this was really interesting in looking to the life of the administrator. Heather was an amazing person to shadow, and I learned a lot about company and organizational culture just from her. And I really enjoyed this project. Thank you.